and welcome back to, or welcome to, the Road to Episode 7, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens on December 16th, 17th and 18th, 2015, depending on where you are in the world. This is number 0. It is the 31st of October, 2015. And what you're about to see was filmed in the early hours of the 31st of October, 2012. 30th of October 2012, it was announced that Disney had bought LucasFilm for $4.06 billion. Bought it all off George Lucas, and they were going to make Star Wars Episode 7 in 2015, they said, and it was like, what the hell? As you'll hear me talk in the following portion of the video. So this kind of marks really 3 years for me of being on the road to Episode 7, even though the first edition of the road to Episode 7 was in February 2013. I first made a video about it as soon as it happened, as soon as it was announced. And I was still quite dubious at the time, I think. Anyway, you'll see in the video, which I'm about to include as part of this video, which was posted 3 years ago, and now we are like a matter of under 50 days until the film actually comes out. So pretty cool. Here we go, number 0. Let's flash back 3 years into the past. Yeah, the big news is that this is being taken over by this. Yeah, Disney has bought and completely just bought out Star Wars, i.e. Lucasfilm and all its subsidiaries and all the everything that encompasses Lucasfilm. And now I've got the press release here, and it cost Disney $4.05 billion. We're talking Dr. Evil level money for Disney to acquire Lucasfilm Limited in stock and cash transaction. That doesn't really work when that's what I'm reading off the thing. But yeah, it's mental. I got a text from my YouTube buddy Ryan Chataway, and I just didn't believe it. I said, "You're joking, right?" He said, "Nope, it's all over the news, all over the internet." So I had a look, and it was true. It's mental. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, you know. I mean, Disney has bought up Pixar, which, you know, is not really that big of a deal, but it was, you know, it was kind of a big deal. And then Marvel, Disney bought up Marvel, and that was kind of quite huge as well. But this is just, because Lucasfilm is huge. I mean, it's not just the Star Wars films and the Clone Wars series that they're doing now and the prequels, and it's the video games and everything that goes with it. It's just, yeah, it's mental. Oh, there's just a thing there on the website. Oh man, all the people with power out in the storm don't know about Star Wars yet. Disney buying Lucasfilm was the best thing to happen to Star Wars in 29 years. I got some tweets here as well I'm going to read out to you. Like people I follow. CM Punk. New Star Wars movie. I'm not falling for that again. Actually wearing a CM Punk t-shirt right now. Yeah, everyone's talking about it and has got their own jokes about it, and yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Initially I was like, oh Jesus, that's awful, you know. I don't want this video to go on too long. Simon Pegg, oh my god, have you heard about Disney? They're showing back-to-back episodes of Mickey's Clubhouse tomorrow. So excited. And then he goes on to say, does this mean that Leia is now a Disney princess? So we have to get her nails done with Ariel and lend Pocahontas a metal bikini. I love Simon Pegg. But yeah, this is, and of course the big news as well is that Disney are aiming for a new Star Wars film in 2015, the same year that they're aiming to put out the Avengers 2, the same year that a Justice League movie could potentially happen. So 2015 could be a huge year. And now it says in the press release that they're going to go ahead with Star Wars Episode 7. I don't know about that. I got a feeling they're going to try and reboot it, make it a bit modern. Maybe they'll bring in Christopher Nolan and do The Dark Empire Rises, cast Tom Hardy as Darth Vader and Christian Bale as Han Solo and Michael Caine as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm kidding, but you know, you just don't know what they're going to do with it. It's very interesting. Now what I think Disney should do, right off the bat, if there's anyone who's kind of like, oh, I'm not in with this, here's what you should do, Disney. You get hold of the original negatives of the Star Wars trilogy, Episode 4, 5 and 6, the real Star Wars films. You get the original negatives, you clean them up, make them look as good as shit, you don't add any special effects into them, and you release them on Blu-ray in their original form, and the fans will rally behind you, I guarantee it. I want to see that. I would pay money, I would pay good money for that. I mean, I'm really happy with the Star Wars Blu-ray box set, but give us the originals on Blu-ray. That'd be amazing to see Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi in full 1080p glory without any of the added shit, without the no, and it would be amazing. Oh, and Disney can now do that, I guess. I mean, George Lucas no longer owns Star Wars. Now, apparently he's going to be a consultant on the new film. Kathleen Kennedy is now the president of LucasFilm, so they're keeping all the Lucasfilm workers there, and that's not going to change. But Disney owns it and is moving forward with the new Star Wars film. And yeah, so who knows really what's gonna happen? It's very interesting. I've said that a lot, but it is very interesting. And you know, I made a status on Facebook, and immediately people just comment on it, and everyone's got an opinion on it. Most people think it's awesome news, and they kind of say, well, look at the Avengers. My mum as well, I said to my mum, they're making a new Star Wars film. She's like, oh, I bet it'll be animated. I was like, why? And she's like, well, it's Disney. And I'm like, no, it'll be a live action film. And she's like, what, with people in it? I was like, what are you on about? She's like, I don't know these newfangled terms. I was like, live action is a newfangled term to you. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what that means. It's just a film, isn't it? And I was like, but yeah, you know, Avengers, you know, Disney was behind that, you know, in some way, shape or form. I don't know the full logistics of it, but I know that Paramount was had their logo at the beginning of that, even though Disney now own Marvel. I don't know what the bleed over point was there, but you know, Disney are now behind Thor, Captain America, Ant-Man, I guess, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers 2, Iron Man 3. They're really monopolizing the whole business now, you know. Pixar as well, they own Pixar, and fair play to Disney, you know. I mean, I love Disney, but it's going to be very interesting. And they need to keep the new Star Wars film. They have to kind of be true to what Star Wars is. They need to keep the tone of it, I think, and at least the music and the style, I think, because it would be very easy to fuck it up, I think. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens as news is announced, and it's going to be a very interesting few years, kind of seeing where the Star Wars saga is going to go. Personally, I think that they should just adapt some of the novels, because the novels are fantastic. People have been saying online the Timothy Zahn novels, but I think the Kevin J. Anderson novels, in particular the Jedi Academy trilogy, which is just fantastic. You check Champions of the Force, the Jedi Academy, Luke Skywalker building up, you know, the searching for Jedi, you know, and I think that's such a great series of books. Darksaber is a fantastic one. Children of the Jedi is an awesome book. That would be a really cool one to see, but I don't think Mark Hamill would do it now. Although they have just spent $4 billion. I'm sure they'd just spend $100 million just getting Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher back, but I don't think they would really fit the roles anymore. I mean, Harrison Ford for sure. He could play an older Han Solo. Mark Hamill, I love Mark Hamill, but I think he is quite a big guy now. He's kind of let himself go a bit, which is fine, you know, but I don't think he could kind of slide back into that role quite so easily. I don't think he'd do it either. Carrie Fisher, I think she'd probably be game for it, but she's kind of a bit of a mess, you know, these days. But, you know, not as much of a mess as she was previously. You know, she got quite bad into drugs and stuff, or she was when she was filming Empire. That's why she loved filming on Hoth, because the cocaine, you couldn't spot it. Anyway, yeah, so many different ways they can go with this. I'd love to see them adapt one of the novels. I doubt they will, though. I think they're going to go with something original. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm really psyched, actually. When I first heard the news, I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh, they could release the Blu-rays, you know, the original trilogy. I was like, oh, they could do something good with this. And do you know what? Even if the film is shit, I don't care. You know, at least it's a shot. There's a shot there's a chance there's going to be a new Star Wars film, and it could be awesome, so I'm all in for that, you know. I don't think it's going to tarnish the films any more than George Lucas has by fiddling around with them and stuff. And to me, even after everything, the way people hate George Lucas, I love the Star Wars films, always will, nothing will change that. And I even said in my video, my Meeting George Lucas video that I talked about when I saw George Lucas once when I was a kid, he's 5 feet away from me. You check that video out, because not many people watch that, and I was quite happy with that. Nice story that I told, I think. And I said then, you know, even after everything, I still just have a lot of respect for George Lucas, you know. I can't take that away from him, no matter what he's done, you know, recently. And it's not like he's done anything bad, you know, he's just tinkered with his own films, you know. There you go. And I could go on for ages talking about this, but I'm going to keep it at 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. Please stick around, don't unsubscribe, I will be back soon. I might cheat. There might be a video or two. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Follow my Facebook page. Thanks for watching, as always.
Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you, cause...
Okay, I've actually just finished editing that video that you just watched, and I had to add something to it just before I hit that render button. It's now been updated. There's more to the story. The CEO, I believe, of Disney, has just said that that Lucasfilm and Disney have a pretty extensive treatment for the next 3 movies. Episode 7 will be released in 2015, the first under the Disney Lucas banner, with episode 8 and 9 to follow. Disney plans to release a new Star Wars movie every 2 to 3 years, and Disney also intends to pursue Star Wars brands in their parks with games and other initiatives. And yeah, so they're going for 7, 8 and 9. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's very interesting. There's a video up called The Future of Star Wars Movies. I'll leave a link to it down below, with George Lucas sitting down with Kathleen Kennedy, who's now taking over Lucasfilm, and he talked about why he's made this decision. And that he has the treatments for 7, 8 and 9 that he's just kind of had, and he's now handing it over to them. Kathleen Kennedy is going to be kind of overseeing everything. He'll still be involved in like a consultant kind of way. I think I said that before. But yeah, basically they're going to go ahead with 7, 8 and 9, which is mental. I just can't see them involved in the main cast, so I don't know how they're going to do it. Very interesting. George Lucas also talked about the novels and how there's so many stories to tell, and he's looking forward to sitting back as a fan and watching it. And fair enough to him, to be honest. I think that's awesome. And he said that handing it over to Disney gives it a bigger life, and it'll kind of extend it on into the future past his life. And you know, I'm actually really excited now. I think this is really cool, especially with Kathleen Kennedy saying that she wants it to stay true to the characters that George invented and stuff, so you can tell they're really going to be quite faithful with this, I hope, anyway. So yeah, that was the update, and I just had to film this little bit, and yeah, thanks, bye.